back, everyone, to another episode of America Indo. I'm in California. I'm currently in an area called Idlewild, which is in the San Jacinto Mountains, just north of Mexico, west of Palm Springs, east of LA, Orange County. Anyway, today specifically, I'm going to be talking about my hot water heater. And there was a specific error code that I had a really hard time to diagnose. I had a hard time diagnosing it. Last July, we had put our camper into storage. When I got back to the camper, my hot water heater wasn't working, which is really kind of a bummer. I mean, it's one thing if you're just doing dishes, but our camper has full indoor-outdoor shower, so having hot water is super desirable. But I would get this error code. It was an E03. And for the life of me, through Facebook and Google and YouTube searches, I could not get an answer. What would happen is, because here's the control panel for the hot water heater. This is where we set the temperature. That's the power button. You can see I have it set for 112 degrees Fahrenheit. You can control the temperature here and there, and then this is just the power. So what would happen is when I would turn the hot water on, the hot water heater would not fire. It's an on demand. You would, when it operates, you can hear the gas because it's got a big blower, and you would get a beeping sound from here, and you'd get cold water out of here. The display would say E03. So now you can see what happens is that'll fire, and the temperature will adjust. Tells you the fan's going, it's got the flame going, water's running. Remember, we had it set for 112, so it's 106 now, 108, so it's increasing. So the water heater works now. But I'm going to talk about how to solve this problem. I thought there were only two possible solutions that I had heard about, researched, or now I found out that there's three this morning. The first one I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you a little tour. This is the Lance 650 truck camper, cab over camper, and this is a Girard on-demand hot water heater. This is the back side of the hot water heater. I'll show you. In here, you can see that there's this little valve right there. That is your water inflow, and you can control the amount of water going in based on with that little ball valve. The one person I had chatted with on Facebook, he had said that he had solved the E03 problem by adjusting that valve down a bit, so throttling it down increases the velocity. I'm not sure how that changed the E03, because that has something to do with the ECO sensor, which has something to do with monitoring the incoming air temperature, or not air temperature, the incoming water temperature, so that you don't have a scalding problem where you superheat the water. Anyway, that didn't work for me. I tightened it down, throttled it down for several times, tried adjusting it here, and that didn't work. The second method, which was the one recommended by the manufacturer when I finally got a hold of someone, this is the water heater from the back side. And if you can see in here, super crowded. I really did not want to do anything in here. However, they said to diagnose the E3 problem, which is with the eco sensor. The eco sensor is this little device that's mounted on top of the copper pipe, so that's monitoring the temperature. There's these two blue wires that come into it. One goes in, one goes out. I don't know which one. That's not really relevant. So what I was told was that you take these two wires and they just have a little slip connection. You pull them off and you connect them together. So you're going to bypass the ECO sensor and you're going to try to run the hot water heater. If the hot water heater still gets the E03 error code, then the problem is in the control panel. Otherwise, by bypassing the ECO, if the problem was the ECO sensor, the error message would go away and you'd be running off of the control panel, but the manufacturer does not recommend that due to the safety concerns. So I, with a friend of mine, disconnected these and spliced them together, and we fired it up, and we still got the E03 error code. Now, I'll show you, then they said I'd have to replace the control panel, which I was not looking forward to, because I am not a big fan of electronics, just primarily because of my own ignorance. But you can see it's quite complex. The power's on right now, and you can see the power light is on, indicator light. So this is operational. So, but what happened was, before this video, I wanted to get a video of the error code, but the error code didn't come on. The water heater fired up, and all I can think is, so that one person had mentioned you adjust the valve inside and throttle the velocity down or up, throttle it up by tightening the valve down, and but you're throttling the flow down, higher velocity, lower flow going through the burner. But this one was to bypass the eco sensor, and that would tell you that the control panel was a problem, but that wasn't the case because we put it back together. I haven't changed the control panel. I have a brand new control panel inside the camper. So now it works. So all I can think of is somewhere in here, there was a loose connection. So you'll want to check all those wires, because the third option, I misspoke, so the second option is to come out and you're gonna bypass that, figure out whether the control panel is the problem or the eco sensor is the problem. And then if it is either one, because you're going to have to bypass the eco sensor to make sure that the connection wires are in good condition, but you should also check all your wires in here and then check it again, fire it up again before you try to disconnect this or order a replacement, because that control panel is over $200. So I'm going to hold on to that puppy just in case down the road, maybe a decade from now, this puppy doesn't work, or maybe they discontinue the water heater. Now I got a spare control panel, which is like, that's sweet. So anyway, I'm super stoked. Hot water's going again. You can see my hair's like super flat. I actually took a shower and got a conditioner in there. So feeling good that I don't have to mess with the 15 wires that are coming in and out of this in such a cramped space. Anyway, that's good news. Take care. So, this Girard on-demand hot water heater, it's important to note, this is the Girard model GSWH-2. So keep that in mind. There might be some slight variations, but I think, overall, checking all your connections. I was watching a podcast or listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how with campers, if you're doing a lot of traveling, if you're living in it full time and boondocking and whatnot, I go off road with my camper. A lot of things get loose, so it's constant maintenance. Check up. Fortunately, it's just a small area. It's not like dealing with a house. So like I was saying, I got the spare control panel for the future. If I ever have any problems, I've got it here. Yeah, so I'm super happy. Everything works. We got hot water for dishes, hot water for bathing, washing our face, shaving. Anyway, everything's good.